The ACTU describes those working full-time for less than the minimum wage of $18 per hour as the working poor of the Australian workforce. According to a 2014 survey by the Centre for Economics, taxi drivers can work up to 14 hours a day for as little as $10 to $14 per hour. Adding to this low income issue, the government has allowed ride-sharing services to operate from 2012 under much less government regulation. Paul Cornelius, shift manager of Black and White Cabs in Brisbane, outlined the effect on the industry by this new competition.
It's getting to the point now where the people are just giving their licences back because they can't or cannot get drivers to drive these cars, because the drivers really don't want to work for $10 to $12 an hour.
The least heard from are the drivers. It is they that feel let down by governments. John Bynes is a Brisbane Black and White taxi driver of 6 years service and has found his income reduced by 40% due to the ride-sharing services.
Like Uber have presented themselves, calling themselves ride-sharing is ridiculous. I mean, they operate a taxi service, so the whole thing has been a bit of a confidence trick.
Yeah.
They've sort of got themselves into the market, and they've taken a huge market share by defining themselves as not taxi. So it's been sort of by stealth that they've undermined the sentiment in the community about taxi drivers. There was a long campaign to denigrate taxi drivers and say that they weren't much good at offering poor service, etc. The various media outlets were, had horror stories about taxi drivers week after week after week. It was monotonous. But that was part of Uber's campaign to open the market up to ride sharing.
I asked John Bynes what motivates him to continue driving under such difficult financial pressures.
Well, I actually enjoy driving, and I'm still keeping my head above water, you might say. But honestly, seriously, lately I've been thinking about maybe doing something else, because now to get that 30-40% reduction in income, you've got to actually spend the whole time thinking about what you're doing. So you've got to spend the whole time thinking about working, getting jobs and things. Whereas before you could relax and jobs might come to you from time to time. Well, now you've got to actively think about what you're doing, and you're sort of working the whole 12-hour shift to get virtually half the income.
Individual companies, including Black and White, are offering driver incentives such as covering fuel costs as one way of trying to retain staff.
Most likely in a shift probably use $40 worth of fuel. Now $40 is quite a bit of money when you've got to find that every night or every shift. So if the taxi companies pay for that, it certainly makes that little bit more appealing for the drivers to come and drive for that particular base.
The ACTU, the Transport Workers Union, and the Queensland Minister for Transport were contacted for comment. None to this point have responded. The CEO of Black and White Taxi Management in Brisbane, John Lovine, did respond, saying that if drivers were paid wages, the taxi industry would be flawless. The downside, he added, would be that taxi fares doubled. Drivers are calling on governments to address the working status of drivers and to bring ride-sharing services in line with the same regulations taxi companies and drivers must comply with.